The Scottish Highlands, the birthplace of the Highland Games. Throwing heavy objects, running up steep hills and tug-of-wars. This is no ordinary sporting event. It's a world where strength, strategy and sheer determination collide. What is this special event that dates back centuries to Scotland's ancient clans and warrior traditions? I head to the Scottish Highlands to find out for myself and experience my first ever Scottish Highland Games. I made my way north towards the small village of Morar, located in northern Scotland. En route, I drove through Glen for the first ever time. Glen is one of Scotland's most spectacular sights, and it absolutely took my breath away. It's definitely a well-known tour spot, but I understand why. I continued my drive passing the large town of Fort William, and the scenery continued to impress. The views of the hills and the sea were just incredible. It's my first time in this part of Scotland, and as I travel more of my home country, I'm just amazed at how beautiful Scotland is. So today I'm here at the Mallaig and Morar Highland Games. It's an event held every year in August, and it's the first ever Scottish Highland Games that I've attended. I'm from the south of Scotland, and we don't tend to have Highland Games in the south of Scotland. There are lots of different Highland Games held throughout Scotland during the year, but this one kicked off last night with an amazing ceilidh, which is a type of Scottish dance. A Scottish ceilidh is a traditional social event in Scotland that involves dancing, music, and often includes lively and energetic group participation. It's a way for people to come together, have fun and enjoy each other's company while dancing to traditional Scottish folk music. Ceilidhs usually feature specific dances with set steps and patterns. In Scotland, we learn these dances at school from a young age as part of physical education classes. However, if you don't know or remember the dances, there's usually someone called a caller who'll explain the steps to everyone before the dance starts. If you ever attend a Scottish wedding, you'll often find the dancing will be a ceilidh. Ceilidhs are such fun and inclusive occasions that celebrate Scottish culture and community spirit. I turned up at this ceilidh alone, and by the end of the night had made loads of new friends. After a swim in a nearby loch this morning to blast away last night's hangover, I'm ready to enjoy the games today. I heard there'll be a few different categories of events today, such as piping, dancing, athletics and heavy. When I think of the Scottish Highland Games, I think of those heavy sports, so I'm really looking forward to seeing them today. The games are just about to start, so let's go and see what a Scottish Highland Games is really like. The volunteer-run Mallaig and Morar Highland Games kicked off at 11:45 a.m. with a pipe band parade from Morar Station to the Games field. The Highland Games chieftain welcomed everyone and officially opened the games. The history of the Highland Games dates back centuries to Scotland's ancient clans and warrior traditions. The Games originally served as a way for clans to select the strongest and most skilled warriors, as well as to provide entertainment and social gatherings. These gatherings often took place at local fairs or religious events. Over time, the Games evolved to include a wider range of events, incorporating not only physical competitions like the caber toss and hammer throw, but also cultural elements like bagpipe music, Highland dancing and traditional dress. The Games became an important part of Scottish identity and a way to preserve and showcase the country's rich heritage. The Mallaig and Morar Games started in full force with lots going on. I wandered around the Games field to watch everything. One of the categories in this Highland Games is athletics. There's high jump, tug of war and athletic races, including a challenging hill race up a nearby hill. Another category at this Highland Games is piping. Bagpipes are a musical instrument from Scotland, and throughout the day competitions took place where people showcased their bagpipe playing skills, filling the air with the sound of this traditional instrument. Oh, such a hot day now, and I got some lunch from the little stall in there. So I got an egg mayonnaise roll and a chocolate, I think Malteser tray bake. It looks really good. Oh, yummy, that looks so good. So the games today is around 4 hours. 12 until 4. The time has gone so quickly. There's just so much to see that you can just wander around and around. So you have like the Highland dancing, you have the heavyweights, you have the athletics going on, then there's all the food areas. So there's so much to do, and you can just completely keep changing your view, and there's just pipers playing everywhere in all corners because they're doing the competitions, and then they'll go over to the side and practice. So there's pipers playing everywhere. So if you like bagpipes, definitely a great idea to come to a Highland Games. The third category at this Highland Games is dancing. Scottish Highland dancing is a traditional and lively dance style that comes from Scotland. Dancers wear special outfits like kilts and unique shoes called ceilidhs. The dances are known for their energetic footwork, quick movements, and sometimes even jumping and spinning. Bagpipe music often accompanies the dancing. In Highland dancing, you'll see different types of dances. Popular dances include the Highland Fling, where dancers hop and kick while keeping their upper body still. Then there's the sword dance, where dancers step over crossed swords without touching them. This dance used to be done before battles for good luck. The dances require skill, practice, and a lot of energy. I had a chat with Maria, an amazing Highland dancer who won lots of the competitions. Hi Maria, thank you so much. How was your dancing today?
It was really good. It's such lovely weather. I had very good time here in Mallaig and Morar Games.
Fantastic, amazing. And how did you get into Scottish dancing?
So I first started at an after school club in my school when I was around like 6 years old, when I just started school. It was just for fun, and then as I got older I became more competitive and I competed at many Highland Games, and it's just grown since then, and I've loved it ever since I started, and it's my passion. I really enjoy dancing very much.
Oh, fantastic. So you're going to continue doing it for many years to come?
Yes, hopefully even when I'm an adult, as it's really enjoyable, and I recommend to anyone watching that they should start Highland dancing as it keeps you fit, and it's really, really good fun.
Thank you so much, Maria. Congratulations for today. You did amazing.
Thank you very much.
The fourth category at this Highland Games is called heavy, and what most people probably associate the Highland Games with. Throughout the entire day, the heavy competitors were busy competing in their different heavy sports. One of the most well-known heavy sports is called the caber toss. I also managed to have a go, and it was really difficult. Okay, so Ian, how do you toss the caber? Can you show us?
Sure, I'll try. You lift it into your arm, you grab it like that, rest against your shoulder. This isn't how the pros do it because they're stronger than I am, obviously. Now just imagine you're really frustrated at something and give it a good shove.
So it has to turn over?
It has to hit the ground on the point and then turn over.
Okay.
And whoever it's flat straight is the best. Now, obviously the big massive guys do it much better than me, but I'm all skin and bones.
Where do you measure it from? Is it on this end here? This one here? Or the furthest
We are not measuring it, we are doing it by eye, because there's not been too many people that have got it to flip over. Okay. So we've not had to worry too much about accuracy. But these guys have a better measuring system, and they all have a good kind of like grumble, like saying no, that's not right.
How many meters can they throw it usually?
Sometimes they can throw it a good few meters, sometimes they can't throw it at all. It depends.
Okay. Thank you so much for the demonstration. I'll have a go.
Thank you.
Okay. Ready? I had a chat with Byron, one of the heavy competitors. Okay, so do you need to wear a kilt if you want to take part?
Yeah, that's actually pretty much the only requirement. You know, it's about Scottish heritage, the whole thing. So if you wear a kilt, you can compete. It doesn't matter where you're from in the world. Just put on a kilt and they'll let you in. That's the one thing that you need to have. And also there's safety requirements, age requirements and stuff. But you know, other than that, just wear a kilt.
So you don't have to be from Scotland to take part?
Nope. Anyone all across the world can take part. Kilts can be expensive, but personally I just have an old second-hand one. They don't mind if you look scrappy, especially if it's your first games. And that's part of the culture of the games, is they'll always help out newcomers or beginners because, you know, they're the future of the sport.
How did you get into the Highland Games?
Well, that's an easy one. My dad, he's actually not from Scotland. He's a Kiwi. He travelled over here and he got me into it when I was like 12 or 13. You know, with baby cabers. I had like a caber that was like this tall, not much taller than me now, but that was a real challenge when I was younger. And so I've just been learning for ages. I did junior competitions. This is my first year doing the adult competition now.
Oh, amazing! How's you going?
It's been all right today. I'm just learning, so I'm not going to beat any of the big guys, but you know, I'm learning, making my way up.
Will you beat your dad one day?
I beat him today in the shot put because he's like retiring this year, so it's like I'm on the up and he's the way out. So I've got my home games coming up, Glen, and I'm going to be really trying to beat him there and beat his records. So yeah.
How do you practice and train for the Highland Games?
Well, normally it's just in a field below my house, you know. We have weights. Some of the games will have old weights, especially if you look at the weight for distance. The funny thing about most of these weights is that they originate from farming backgrounds. If you go to any farm, some of them might actually have some of them lying around, especially the weight for distance. That's 28 pounds, which farmers would used to use to weigh out the amount of grain they needed. That would be a 250 weight. And then the 56 pounds, which is obviously double 28, that would be used for the half 100 weight, half 100 of grain, of wheat. And so you go to some old farms in Scotland, they'll actually have them lying around. Even in England, they'll just have, you can see them lying around. And a lot of them will like, yeah, take those, get rid of them. And that's how Dad got a few of his weights that I use now to train. But that's probably it. It's hard to train if you don't have the weights, but you know, shot put's pretty easy to train for. I just go down to my field. I watched a lot of videos of American YouTubers who know how to shot put properly, and from the old guys in the circuit who know how to throw the hammer and some of these other events, they will teach you everything, especially if you're new.
Fantastic. Well, great job today. You were doing really well in all the caber throwing and everything.
Yeah, I came last in everything apart from the shot put. I beat my dad. I was happy with that, and that's so, you know. But yeah, it was good.
Okay, well everyone, if you see Byron competing in the Highland Games around Scotland, please cheer him on. Thanks very much, Byron.
Thank you, yeah.
Attending my first ever Scottish Highland Games was an incredible experience. It was amazing to learn more about this fantastic cultural event that Scotland is so well known for. If you visit Scotland, I highly recommend attending a Highland Games or a ceilidh. Thank you so much to the Mallaig and Morar Highland Games for being so welcoming to me and putting on such an amazing event. I often share photos from my trips on Instagram, so feel free to have a look. If you'd like to see more of my adventures around Scotland, please subscribe to the channel. See you next time!